for the live stream. Welcome. I'm very excited to be back. I've been, as many of you know, if you've been following along my channel, I was gone for a while, involved in something really intense, and I'm back at Moonrise Cottage. I'm very thrilled to be here. So today we're going to talk about the Leo full moon and the energies that are going to be moving us, all of us, into 2021 and what we can expect and the things that we might be experiencing. So, hey, TD, good to see you. So, how are you, TD? What's going on in your life? There's a little bit of a delay. So, I'm going to do my best to get the reading out and monitor the chat. At the end of the reading, as I usually do, I'm going to come back over and we'll chat a little bit. Okay, so as I've grown into YouTube to the best of my ability, I've realized, oh yeah, just get the reading out. And then if people want to hang out after the reading, I'm going to come over and we'll have a chat. Okay? So let's see. I did the Leo, like I said, live stream. The Leo reading is out. And I would encourage everybody to go look at it because there is a lot of information that weaves itself. My guides are talking about, they always talk, as you know, if you've been following my channel, they talk about weaving the tapestry. And it's really about weaving together the spectral signature, the light codes, the quantum energy that's rising to the surface in all of us. Anybody who's here, that's why we're here. No matter what you think about political differences and things like that, everybody who's here is taking part in this, whether they realize it or not. So we're going to talk about that today. First, I want to just ask my guide some questions about the new moon that's coming and the energy of the full moon that we're just a couple days past. The full moon was on the 28th, and today is the 31st, I think. Okay? So the first thing my guides are saying, let's get into it. I have some things I'm going to read to you, if you'll bear with me. But there we are. That's the thing I was just talking about. And if you see, can you see in the top, see the moon up there? If you just put this into your consciousness, this idea, this imprint, my guides are calling it an imprint, so that when you walk through your day-to-day life, you understand and remember this idea. Do you see the beautiful light and the rainbow and people walking hand in hand forward? That's where we're all going in 2021. And the destiny we know is, God, my guides are saying, further episodes of Pluto. So that's not over yet. But we're moving into the period of time when we start the rebuilding. And God bless the beautiful Capricorn people. My guides are saying all the earth sign people who've been carrying the weight of transformation, because Taurus has Uranus in it. So here's the energy of the new moon. When we have this ecstatic moment, loving all it is, and I just, my guides are talking, sorry. I'm loving the fact that it's a 2-2. So there we are. That's the energy that we're walking in. As we walk toward the new moon that's coming, it's going to be very powerful. So I'll do a live stream at that point as well. So try to be in an ecstatic state because we have moved through what we needed to move through, and things are going forward in a way that's really intense. So when we talk about the Leo full moon, there we go. Do you see that the numerology is 19? It is about fire energy, for sure. And what I've been getting, what's been coming through to me, is that this energy was necessary in order to bring people out of the energy of 2020 and literally vaporize it, burn it off. That's why the Leo full moon comes at the end of January. We're done with it now. Look how beautiful. So inside yourself, allow things to just sort of vaporize, evaporate. Any of the stuff that you're hanging on to from 2020, time to let it go. And there's a really important reason why. Here's what it is. Look, y'all, my guides are saying, look, y'all. The numeral 6 often is about victory. So when we see this snake, it's it's a very, okay, my guides are saying things like the prospects coming forward. See the eggs? This is about shamanism in a really powerful way. And in fact, it indicates fire energy, the fire shaman. So the energy that we're coming into, the energy that's available to you as we walk through 2021, because this is a foundation moment, is this: to continue to burn off, and I'm not talking literally, okay? I'm talking with energy, light code energy, Leo energy. It's love, it's leadership, it's passion, energy of wands, things like that. And some shamanic energy, I think, being birthed in all of us. That's why the eggs are here. So I want to read to you from the book a little bit about the snake energy. And it is, just so you know, if I can get this in, see that? It's about transmutation. It's very important. That's the moment that we're in. I'm going to talk to you about that instrument back there in a little bit, okay? But my guides told me, put it up on the table so everybody can see it, because we're going to start doing regular meditations in order to, okay, here's what's coming through. In order to take the energy when those eggs hatch, light code energy, quantum energy, all the things that people talk about, and we're going to utilize it week by week as we go through 2021. So if you go to my website, the new classes are starting on the 14th of February, because here in the United States, Valentine's Day, right? I don't know what the rest of the world does, but we're going to just work with this love energy. Check it out. And if you have any questions, send me a contact form and I'll get back to you, okay? So snake medicine people are very rare. Their initiation involves experiencing and living through multiple snake bites, which allows them to transmute all poisons. So again, they're referencing 2021. It's time to be done with it. Whether the poison is mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional, the power of snake medicine is the power of creation, light energy. It embodies every part of our human existence: sexuality, psychic energy, alchemy, reproduction, and ascension or immortality. The transmutation of the life, death, rebirth cycle is exemplified by the shedding of snake's skin. And I think that's why they want me to read this, because a lot of this is allegory, right? That's what we're going through. As we step into 2021, we're just going to shed off. We're meant to just shed and release. And at some point, my guides are talking about the radiant energy. Just burn it off. Whatever is hanging on to you energetically from 2021. And you may want to do a fire ceremony. If you don't know how to do that, you certainly can. My guides are saying, just make it up out of your own psychic ability. Go outside, be careful. Or if you have a little Agnihotra vessel in your altar, you could do something very safe. Just be careful, okay? So snake energy is the energy of wholeness and cosmic consciousness. It is the ability to experience willingly without resistance. It's the knowledge that all things are equal in creation, that those things which might be experienced as poison can be eaten, ingested, integrated, and transmuted if one has the proper state of mind. Snake medicine teaches you on a personal level that you are a universal being. And again, it's time for us all to accept and really start living that with our consciousness and with our energy. And if you're just beginning that exploration in your life, don't worry about it. Because of the dance of the planets, we are exactly where we need to be. And my guides always talk to people about, here's what's coming through. Stop saying and stop expecting and stop letting yourself be told that you have to raise your energy. No, you don't. You just have to access it. We all have everything we need right inside of us, right? So now that they're talking about Jesus, because I'm here in the Judeo-Christian world, they're referencing that, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you. Yes, it is. Do you need to grow as a person and perhaps change some of your attitudes and some of your behaviors? Maybe. But that's not the same as raising your energy. So just my guides are saying, put that in your pocket and ponder it. You already have it. You don't have to worry about it. And because of the dance of the planets, your energy, your ability, now they're talking about quantum entanglement. So if you're out there and you don't know what some of these things mean, make a little note and go look them up after, okay? So all of these things are being ignited in these moments, while at the same time, they're talking about the stain. The stain of 2020 is being burned off. It's being vaporized and released. So through accepting all aspects of your life, you can bring about the transmutation of this fire medicine of the Leo full moon. When functioning on a material plane, it creates passion and desire, procreation, physical vitality. On the emotional plane, it becomes ambition, creation, resolution, dreams. On the mental plane, it becomes intellect and power, charisma, leadership. And when the snake energy reaches the spiritual plane, it becomes wisdom and understanding and wholeness and the strength of your ability to connect to the Great Spirit. So if this symbol has come into your reading, there is a need within you to transmute some thought, some action, some desire within your life. So that's what the guides were just talking about. In order that wholeness may be achieved. This is heavy magic. But remember, magic is no more than a change in consciousness. So it's time to become the magician or the enchantress and transmute the energy and accept the power of this fire energy, displayed, my guides are saying, displayed today by the notion of snake. So time to shed our skin and allow, no matter what your sign, astrologically, it's time to take up the radiant energy, the spectral signature of the vibration that's going to cause the awakening just by being in your life, no matter what your sign is. So the first card, look, Leos, if you're out there, fire sign people, definitely, but that's all of us. That's a representation of where we're standing now. Because this beautiful Leo full moon has caused this transmutation, and we emerge back here marked, so to speak. And it's male energy being utilized through the sacred feminine because of the Leo aspect, the fire aspect. It comes on the moon, straight out of the sentient universe, in order to affect us here in this place. And look, did you see the spiral turning? Sun card. In this deck, it's the protector of sacred lore. So that's what the guides want to talk about today. And there's a sacred feminine look. It's time for all of us to take up our destiny. Wands, woman of skill. You see how activated the feminine energy is along with this? So there's a yin yang energy to this, and we turn together and we meld into each other and then out. And so I think coming forward in 2021, that's part of the request, is to allow this energy to move through all parts of you and have its experience. That's what's coming through. So let's find out what the destiny is. I didn't pre-pick the cards. I thought it would be fun to do that together. So let's see what comes up, Spirit. A little more information about this Leo full moon. Here it is. Look. Thank you, Spirit. Look. Look at that. All right. So again, if you've been following along with me, you probably know about this card. But it's this adventure of sacred knowledge. It's about a moment that comes when this young man had a vision. He stepped out into the town square where in the old days there used to be a gallows. And you had to prove your bravery by putting a rope around a corpse. It was handed down through the centuries. There are a lot of words coming through. They're talking about in a linear way. So they're talking about human time. In order to cause people on Halloween, when the veil was thin, to go into the underworld, the world of the fairies in Irish mythology. So this is about a young man who's trying to make his life grow. Seven of knowledge is seven of pentacles. So he stepped out to do this gruesome task, and he had a vision. And he visioned his village burning to the ground, all of it. So this is what has been happening. These are, again, the energies from 2020. And what happened to him was he immediately, when he had this vision, he went into the land of the fairies. And he met a banshee there, and he begged her for help. And she basically said, well, we're going to help you. Of course, we'll help you grow your garden. And you have to go back because you have to actually do it with your energy. We're not going to take care of this for you. We'll give you some love and support, etc. So that's what happened. He went back to the human realm. My guys are talking about, and he put in his choices. They're talking about the election. So even though the election was really close, there was a set point of consciousness that was meant to emerge. And that is why it turned out the way it did. It could have easily gone in the other direction. And that's why people are so upset, because they've been manipulated into believing something that's not true. So we have a lot of beautiful assistants. He eventually, when the duty was done, he went back to the underworld and stayed there and lived with the fairies. So there's something about the way the garden grows, my guides are talking about, here on the earth in these moments coming forward. We're going to be very much more connected, and that's why the snake energy is here and the fire shaman. Woohoo! So we are going to be much more connected to universal consciousness. It's just a given. That's what's coming through. And look, another story about a young man trying to make his life better. You see the road? He's got on a fake beard and a cape made out of leaves. He was part of a wisdom lineage. All of us are. His dad was the person who was the lineage holder, and he passed away. So he was out having his adventures, and he had to travel home and take up his duty. And he was really terrified because he didn't feel ready. And so the story is he sat on the chair, and he tried to sort of fake it. And eventually he said, you know what, I'm not ready. I'm really scared. I was out having fun doing what young people do. And I came back because I have the intention to take up my duty. But I have not prepared. I should have been here studying and learning. And this person comes, one of the elders from the tribe or the village, if you will. Do you see the triple spiral of destiny? So they had this dialogue about all the sacred knowledge that he should have taken up, and he didn't. And eventually the young man, took the beard off and said, look, just help me. I'm ready. I'll be a student now. But I can't be sitting in this chair because I haven't taken up the wisdom that I'm supposed to have. So my guides are, what's coming through now is they're talking about all of us. This is the moment when we say, okay, I'm ready. I'll do it. But I haven't been through my training. And I don't think you can depend on me. I'll get there. Why don't you be my mentor? And then when you think I'm ready, I'll come and take up the chair and hold the wand and do my job. So basically, long and short of the story is the older gentleman sat in the chair and said, okay, I will take care of it for you, and you can be my student. And then the first thing he did was he said, my first decree is that you are going to come and sit in the chair. Get up here. Yes, you are ready. So my guides are talking about this whole notion of light codes and raise your consciousness. They really hate that. They hate it when human beings say that because it divorces you from the reality of your being. And you are an energetic expression of the universe. Don't doubt yourself. Be humble. Acknowledge that you have a lot to learn and that you have changes to make, and you're going to go in that direction. So that's how that worked out. And they're relating it, in a sense, to this. We did have to take a deep dive. Here, at least in the United States, I believe this is talking about all over the world. It's just the place where we're at. So I love this next card. Right on the top. Where do you see that? New moon, anyone? This is a wonderful story. That is the goddess of sovereignty. she's in disguise. And her superpower, if you will, is that she controls the water. Do you see that it's combat? This is the Five of Wands. It's that moment when there's a lot of turning, a lot of change, and some conflict about it. And what, at least here in the United States, it's exactly where we're at. So she controls water, love, energy, factors of Venus, abundance, beauty, all those things that water does for us here upon the earth, making things blossom. So she just sits in her spot while all of this combat's going on, and eventually she comes in contact, or four young men come in contact with her. It's really interesting. It's kind of the story of the male energy and how it's going forward here on the earth as a result of this moon that just happened. Whoever it is that ends up marrying this woman is destined to be the king and have sovereign rule with love energy, together with this woman, the yin yang of it. So the king sent his sons out to have their adventures to determine who was going to have what it took, basically, to be the king. So do you see the progression of this? They all come across this woman. They ask her for the water because they ran out of water. And she said, sure, I'll give you some water, but you have to kiss me. And then she just sits there looking right through them. There they are in the background, standing around the fire. So that's where we're at. And like all good fairy tales, there was only one young man who was willing to return to her the love energy, symbolized by the water, for her gift to bestow upon them the same energy. So it's time for us all to reveal ourselves. And of course, when this young man gets off his horse and gives her a kiss with love and respect and dignity, the disguise falls. He discovers that she is the goddess of serenity. And they marry, and the young man rises to the throne, and they rule the kingdom together as sacred sovereigns, using love energy. It's really beautiful. So that's the destiny. That's what the full moon is doing for us. And we're going to be in the light of the full moon for about 6 months, as it always affects us. So if you look, my guides have been talking lately about the moon cycles. So if you want to have some fun and use some divination, look at all the full moons that are coming over the course of 2021. What sign are they in? What's the energy? What's going on during that month? And you will know a lot about how we're going to travel and where we're going and what the purpose is. Well, look. So again, just an insistence in a way. That's the Two of Cups. It's about using this energy in the way my guides were just talking about. Do you see the male and female, yin and yang? Dialogue of art. A dialogue about love energy in order to come into balance. All the twos in the decks are about gaining balance in some aspect. So I believe if you do some sacred exercise, whatever comes to you that feels like it connects you to the love energy of this moon that we're having, a sacred turning is going to happen. It's yin and yang all over the reading. It's really gorgeous. So that's Merlin and his sister, and they were very devoted to each other. Merlin lost his way because he just got burnt out, and he had PTSD and all kinds of things like that. And she built him a tower, so he had a sacred place to live in order to have many perspectives, a lot of windows to look out of, a lot of places to enter and leave from. And they just sit together in the light of this moon, telepathic communication going on, and she's just dressed in her passion. And what they're doing is they're actually using the energy of the moon to bring forward new growth and blossoms and berries. I love this. So the moon has been illuminating my window, probably depending on where you are and what the weather is. You'll be able to look at this moon for quite some time, my guides are saying. And they want you to look into it while you gain this balance as we move toward the new moon that's coming, because it is going to be extremely powerful as well. Here in February, I'm going to drop some links below. I didn't put them there yet. but as soon as the live stream is over, I'll put them there. Go and look at my favorite astrologer. Some of them are Pamela Gregory and Molly McCord. Go look at their readings. It's astounding. They're both really fabulous sacred astrologers. So we've got an enormous amount of fire energy that is going to do all the things I've been talking about, but we have Uranus conjunct Jupiter and Jupiter conjunct Venus. Love energy, radiant energy. Uranus is the energy of awakening. Probably everybody knows that. So there's going to be a lot of explosive energy. It's so hot, and Saturn's in the mix. My guys are calling it like the great task master. It's there to get us to focus and do the things and learn what we're meant to learn. And they're talking about like proper behavior, things like that. So go look at the astrology. It's going to be a really hot month. The astrology folks are predicting a lot of earth changes because we have Uranus stationed in the first house of Taurus and Pluto is still in Capricorn in the mix. It's hot this month, really, truly. So volcanoes and earthquakes and things like that. And it's already started, actually. So if you look at the news, you'll see a lot going on. On a soul level, let's ask for some information about this moon, about this full moon. And what is, okay, look. So here we have this notion of shamanism coming up to the surface because of the energy and the light codes and all the things that humans want to call it. That's what my guides talk about, because really the language is not with words. And I had a massive download when I was in New Mexico in 2019. It's 29, yeah. Just as the year turned, I had a massive vision. I was awake all night, just spinning, rolling over and over and over in my bed, and connected to a quantum partner, and I was getting a download. And what I was told was there's a massive virus, and everybody on the earth has it, and the virus is in the words. So there are a lot of ways to describe what that means, but clearly the virus travels on a breath. And I don't know about everywhere else, but here in the United States, there are a large swath of the population that will not do anything to keep themselves safe or their loved ones or their neighbors. They will not filter their breath when they speak. So this is probably going to be very controversial, but that's one of the things that's being burned off. I think there are certain types of energy that are being released through coronavirus, and the people who are meant to finish their journey this time around, they're leaving because it's just what's happening in a sense. It is fire energy. So shamanically, if you're going to utilize and take up the shamanic energy, one of the things that has to happen is you do have to have some training. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're talking about in whatever way that is relevant for you. It's a moment on a soul level. That's what we're talking about. You take your initiation. We all do. And, my guides talk about this tapestry. If we stand in the world as our quantum energy signifier, our spectral signature, and we understand the moment that we're in, this is what's happening. So within the mystical Celtic wisdom deck, do you see? Look at that. We've done battle with the beast. And it's done. And now we're taking the next step to accept the energy that's available. It's about leaping in and dedicating yourself to sacred lore, the spiritual side of our existence. That's the goddess of sacrifice. And we've sacrificed a lot. Some people are sacrificing their life. And I guess I don't want to perseverate on that, but those are the kind of things that come to me in the middle of the night when I'm trying to sleep. Things happen and I get this information. So it's time now to step into the fire energy of this moment and dedicate yourself to that which is attempting to come forward through you, whoever you are, no matter what your sign is. Start looking deeply into your chart. Is there fire energy in your chart? Where is it? What house is it in? What does that mean? Just start to ponder. You'll understand. It'll come to you. If you have, my guides are saying, if you have a question, come and talk to me. They're talking about them talking to you through me, because my job is just to say the words. So, the goddess of sacrifice. You do have to let some things go. It is a sacrifice to dedicate yourself to sacred energy in whatever way you do that, because it causes you to shift the trajectory of your life. And in this card, in this reading, it's on a soul level. So we are all, as a group of soul entities, that which we call the soul, which is the connection to the mystical universe, out of which all light comes from the darkness. So it's time to take heart and dedicate yourself in order to be able to have deeper vision, because in the standard deck, this is, look at that, the dedicator of lore. That's the Hanged Man. So it's my guides always talk about Odin when this comes up, right? We see somebody, a hanged man, hanging upside down in a tree. Often readers will say, well, you're trying to make a decision and you're just stuck. No, we're not. We're going deep inside in order to get a vision. They're talking again, it's really interesting. They're referencing a lot today. They're talking about the Christ story and the things that come from the Bible. If you look deeply into sacred texts, hopefully we all know, it's not meant to be taken literally. It's a prophecy story about how life is meant to go forward and the things that can help you. So again, they're saying this thing about, look, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The light codes are within you. The 5D is within you. You already carry it. That's why you're here. Or you wouldn't have come at this time when we're meant to have this massive destruction that's going to bring this awakening. I really like it. So as they were just saying, look at that. You see the Leo energy. So the elk is there. It's about stamina for a long journey. You see the spiral turning? Look. There's us. Things are about to be revealed to us. Sacred knowledge. It's the 9 of Pentacles. When we see someone standing in their life with everything that they could need for self-rule, fulfillment of the self. And this is on a soul level. So it's a story, like all these cards are, based on Irish mythology. So that's a warrior who, they're talking about the motherland, meaning Ireland. Ireland was invaded lots and lots and lots of times over history. And this person was dedicated to the motherland. So they're talking now about the collective soul journey. He lived 1,000 years and he never died. He just continued to transmute his energy. That's what we're talking about, transmutation. That's why the snake energy is here. So eventually he turned in to the sacred salmon, Piscean energy. That's where we're going. Being released into it, burning off 2020 so that we can have this experience of being in the self in the most sacred way possible. And I love that my guides are pulling out these cards that just keep showing the fire energy of this moment. So it's time to take your initiation with yourself. Make a commitment. Yes, I'll do it. I'll do my best. That's how my guides they're talking to me about, 40 years ago when I had an initiation. I did it myself because I was getting the inklings of what was going on in my life and the direction I was going in. So I had a ceremony with water, actually, and I love that this is talking about the extension of that, the continuation of all these energies. So he turned into a fish, salmon, wisdom, Piscean energy, universal consciousness, and jumped into the ocean, and he was caught and brought to the palace, eaten by the queen. And she was the factor, the feminine energy. If you go into the water energy, even if you're a fire carrier, Hang on one sec. This is what they're talking about. So the queen became impregnated, and she gave birth in a rapid cycle way, and she gave birth to somebody who was one of the greatest wisdom holders. So do you see the trajectory where we're all going, all of us, all together now, my guides are saying, balanced in this love energy, because it's our destiny coming forward, and it's coming through the light codes, which is what everybody talks about. So they want you to really understand how this is unfolding and what we can all be expecting as we go through 2021. And I love it. Thank you, Spirit. I love that she's here. She's one of my favorite. She's one of my favorite characters in the deck. It's fabulous. So it is a death and rebirth type of a cycle that's going on a soul level. Okay? See that? That's the death card. Do you see all the new growth in the leaves? I have to cover this up. I'll show you. So it's a shamanic portage. The ancient Celtic people believed that the soul resided in the head. So when they were in battle, they would bring the heads of the warriors back home for proper burial so they could go through to the other side. And that's what the burial mounds, a lot of them are about, because people would be cremated and their remains would be brought into the passage tomb. So if you don't know what that is, Google it, okay? Google Newgrange and things like that. It's a very mystical type of passage. And the passage tombs were aligned with the sun and the stars, and you could go down that wormhole and just enjoy yourself for many, many, many hours if you would like. It's all over YouTube. So a shamanic death and rebirth in using the fire energy and into and out of the sacred feminine, which is where the light is coming from, the shimmering universe. Okay, look. Backwards. In a sense, back into the portal. I love it. So let's get an outcome card, and then we're going to pick from the runes, okay, gang? So, Spirit, can you give us just one more piece of energy? What is the outcome of this effort, of this full moon in Leo? Yeah. Okay, gang. Look. Thank you. Look. See that? We have done battle with the beast. Right? This is the perfectly aligned outcome given where we're all standing. So this is a story about a young warrior who wanted to, again, second time, marry up with the princess. So male energy trying to be aligned now, coming into alignment with the sacred feminine. In order for the energy to move itself forward, and my guides are, I'm getting an image of rolling the yin yang. If you can imagine the yin yang symbol rolling through time, that's what's going to happen in 2021. There's going to just be, the energy is going to be ignited and balanced so that the yin yang can go forward inside of all of us, whether you're a man or a woman, or that's not your identifier. We're talking about energy. Okay? So this young man had to go out into the forest and do battle with a wild boar, the most dangerous animal that exists in this part of the world. He had to get the artifacts of the sacred feminine. They were tangled up in the beast, and take every inference you'd like from that. And it will, my guys are saying, and it will be proper. Okay? So there's a lot of backstory being woven into this if you look at 2020. Okay? Despite the fact that he had no shoes and no weapons and no armor and no way to protect himself, he had to use his wits and his sacred energy, and he was successful. And he brought a comb and a brush and things like that, scissors. He brought that back to the palace and returned it to the sacred feminine, the princess, and then he was allowed to marry her because he showed that he had the ability. So we see that story twice in this reading, which I really like. I'm going to pick from the runes and just want to show you what's on the bottom of the deck. My guides want it. Look. That is the perfecter of energy. It is the world card, and it promises a massive amount of change. We're at the end of a cycle. We're starting something very new again. And if you don't know okay, we see the turning of the spiral at the root chakra. And this awakening happening all the way up and into and through the crown chakra. We're going to gain a lot of wisdom in 2021. Those petals are petals of knowledge. And in each sector of the year, we see the sacred swastika. You have all the tools you need. You got your spear, your blade, your shield, and a vessel. You see the energy turning in the vessel? It's fabulous. If you are not aware, the swastika has been around for 12,000 years or more upon this earth, and it has been found in every ancient culture. It has nothing to do with the Nazis. The Nazis took the symbol and turned it backwards because they intended to use it for domination. It's not what it's about. It's about the turning of sacred energy. And it's why it didn't work for them. It was destined to fail, thank goodness. So let's take a look at the sacred bowl. I love it. And we'll pick a rune. We'll close the reading, and then I'm going to come over to the chat room. Okay? Okay, Spirit. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. That's a rune for joy. We're going to go into this energy. It's very nearly aligned with the symbol for the sacred gateway. And this, okay, they're talking all about it. The gateway, if you pull the rune for gateway, it's about a lot of power. It's about Thor. It's about moving energy in a very powerful way. And this, okay, my guys are saying this is the station that we need to be at in order to go through the gateway when we get to the end of 2021. So there's a prophecy in there, I guess. So that's the rune for joy. It's beautiful, isn't it? Let me just grab my book. And I'm going to read it to you from the book because my guides always say they want you to have the words. They talk about the words a lot. Okay. Hang on. Very interesting. So this is the rune Wunjo. It's about joy and about light emanating into this place, of course, because we're talking about Leo, fire energy, radiant light energy. All the things that we would say, that's what's coming through. And so they're talking about light codes and DNA codes and all those kinds of things. So this rune is a fruit-bearing branch. The term of difficulty has ended, and you've come to yourself in some regard. The shift that was due to occur has happened, and now you can freely receive Wunjo's blessings, whether they are in material gain, in your emotional life, or in a heightened sense of your own well-being. This is an alchemical moment in which understanding is transmuted from knowledge, right? We're all sitting in the chair. We have what we need. We're going to have help. We're going to have guidance. We're going to come into this sacred knowledge because it is part of our destiny. And the transmutation comes from the snake energy, the fire shaman, all the things already said, all the words already spoken. So the knowledge that we used to get us to this place was a necessary occurrence. However, it was not sufficient. Now in these moments, you can rejoice because you have been carried across the gap by the will of heaven. Ooh, I'm getting all choked up. Yeah, hang on a second. That's why this is here. They want me to show you something. What's coming through is they're saying we want them to see it so they understand being carried across the gap by the will of heaven. Thank you, Spirit. So joyousness accompanies new energy, energy that was blocked for now. Light pierces the clouds and touches the waters. Beautiful. just as something lovely emerges from deep. The soul is illuminated from within. I love this. Thank you, Spirit. At the meeting place of heaven, the meeting place of the waters, meaning love energy being illuminated in these months coming forward. So the illumination is happening at the meeting place of heaven and earth, signified in this realm by water. That is the, they're saying, they're talking about cleansing. They're talking about all the aspects of water and the way it signifies love energy. At least in this realm, these kinds of things that we're talking about, divination tools like the tarot, etc. And it's why, now they're talking, it's really interesting. They're talking a lot about Christianity. It's why water is used for sacred ceremonies like a baptism, to return you to your sacred state. That's the symbolism, probably among other things. I'm not a religious person, so I'm not well versed in all of that, but I understand the symbology. And I'm sure a lot of you could educate me more about that. So there is a new clarity which may call for you to renounce your existing plans, ambitions, and goals. It is proper and timely for you to do this because Wunjo is a rune of restoration, and it is signifying the self properly aligned with the self. So, gang, thank you for being here. I decided this morning when I was preparing for the reading, one of the things that I am meant to be doing is using that instrument. That's been in my life for many, many years, since long before my daughter was born, and she's almost 30 years old. So I've been carrying that. It was the place through which I evolved into the sacred lineage that I carry. So I was given that as a gift by a musicologist, a very well-known sitar master, and it's this last year, it's just time for me to start to use that. So next week on Sunday, I'm going to offer a free meditation using the sacred energy, the strings of energy, the vibration of the music. That is a tambura, and it makes a very sacred sound. It's the feminine sound of the universe. So I will post that. Let's see. I'll set up another live stream. We're going to, all right, my guys are talking about, I usually do it with Zoom. I think I can Zoom to YouTube, but they're telling me no. If you want to take part in that, send me an email, because what I'm going to have to do is set up a Zoom room and then send you out the link. So it's something that I'm just going to offer so that everybody can experience that at least one time, so you'll know it's the right thing for you. And the next 8-week session is starting on the 13th and 14th. So we have 2 classes per week. One is for beginners, in order to sort of learn. There's a lot of teaching that goes on to teach you how to use the energy, and we meditate each time. And then there is an advanced group that's been building since last May. So that will start on the 14th, I believe. So the beginner's class is on Saturday, and the advanced class is on Sunday. So if you've been meditating for many years in your life, you probably can jump right in, but it's a particular skill set. So if you haven't, it might be fun, just so you get all the information that's meant to come through about Nada Yoga. That's the practice. It's called Nada Yoga, and it's about meditation with sound vibration. So each note, every string, puts out a sacred vibration, and the vibration has 22 microtones. So we're literally talking about spectral signature and utilizing this vibration in order to get in touch with your own light codes. And we travel out into the universe. It's lots of fun. It's very soothing. It's very healing. So I'll look forward to seeing some of you there. I will post something to the community page on my channel. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that so you get those notifications. So thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. And just sail deep into this full moon energy. Stand in it until we get to the new moon. And then we're going to take the next step. But for this moment, allow yourself to stand in the transmutation energy of the beautiful Leo full moon and all the indications that have been spoken about. And I'll look forward to seeing you a couple of weeks from now when we do the live stream for the new moon. Okay, gang? Mwah! Thank you for being here. I'm going to go over and talk to the folks in the chat room if you have to move on with your day. Thanks. Bye.